What is going on, people? It's Matt from Liquid Loans. Happy Monday to everyone. I hope everyone is having a good start to the week. It's a cold, bitter one here in London. So I've got my lumberjack shirt on. I've got my hot tea. I've been wearing a bubble hat all day. So staying warm now I'm inside. Thought I'd jump on and I want to break down a video from a colleague of mine, Jexxa. If you don't know who Jexxa is, he is head of security, IT and planning at Liquid Loans. He's a very smart fella. And he's got a good YouTube channel with some great content. And I want to break down one of his charts today, which is very, very interesting. If you don't know who Jexxa is, by the way, definitely go and subscribe to his channel. Great content, very smart guy, very calm, methodical, thinks things through. A kind of trait that I think we should all be aspiring towards. So let me break down this chart. Let me add it to the stream. And this is all about Jexxa's concept, which is called One DeFi. Basically, this whole new era that we're coming into with PulseChain is going to be a complete way that this ecosystem has one DeFi. We don't need anyone else. We don't need anything else once PulseChain is here and then these protocols are sitting on top of it. So let's have a look at this chart quickly and what it's all about. And it's basically about Hex, Liquid Loans, PulseX, and PulseChain. And as we can see, Hex is our savings account. Hex is where you can lock up your money, you can stake it, you can earn some nice yield every single year. And that's the savings account in this DeFi ecosystem. Then you have Liquid Loans, which is the bank. Liquid Loans is the borrowing and lending protocol. So we can call that the central bank of this DeFi ecosystem, this PulseChain DeFi ecosystem. And then every decentralized ecosystem needs a DEX, a decentralized exchange. And on PulseChain, that will be PulseX, where you can go and swap your cryptocurrencies. You can do that quickly, easily, safely in a decentralized manner. And last, but most definitely not least, you need a decentralized foundation. You need the train tracks on which the whole network runs. And this is PulseChain itself. So something that has low fees, PulseChain is going to have low fees. It's going to be fast. It's going to be secure. And if you hold any of these, or hopefully all of these, you hold all the pieces to the puzzle. You own all the different parts of the component to this new era in DeFi. So, for example, Hex, if you hold Hex over time, you get price appreciation. New buyers enter the system, that pushes the price up. Hopefully, you're also staking your Hex, getting those T-shares and getting high yield. If you own Pulse, well, anyone who uses PulseChain is going to need Pulse to transact on the network. 25% of all fees are burned. So that's going to make, and all the supply of Pulse is fixed. So all those fee burning that goes, all that fee burning that goes on is going to make the token deflationary. Supply and demand, what do we know about that? Well, when supply goes down, price goes up. PulseX, every time a transaction happens on PulseX, we've been told an entity may or may not burn 25% of all fees. May or may not, more likely may. And again, supply and demand, what happens? Deflationary, token becomes deflationary over time, supply is fixed, 25% of all fees are bought and then burnt, price goes up. So if you're holding all that, that's great. How about when we get into this chart, that this diagram that Jexxa brought up, and you have these price positive feedback loops. What happens there? Well, first, let's look at Liquid Loans, for example. If someone's got Pulse, they can deposit that into their vault, hopefully have a nice high collateral ratio, like 1,000%, and then mint themselves USDL. When they mint themselves USDL, they can, and you might have seen this strategy with Haunted on previous videos of mine on the Liquid Loans channel. You can take that USDL, go over to PulseX, buy more Pulse. What's going to happen to Pulse when you buy that? It's going to push the price of Pulse up. Then you can take that Pulse and deposit it back into your vault. Also, you've used PulseX, so fees have been burnt there, bought and burnt. If you're holding PulseX, the price goes up. So we have these positive feedback loops in this system. Not only do we have the savings account, the central bank, the exchange, and the PulseChain itself, but when you start using it in this way, to use Liquid Loans to mint yourself USDL, take it to the exchange, you can buy more Pulse. That's going to push the price up of Pulse, and then you can deposit that back into your vault, and you can do some type of strategy like the haunted strategy or something like that. As long as you're staying nice and high with that collateral ratio, you've got nothing to worry about. Also, as we mint more USDL, stakers of the loan token are going to be getting the fees. So if you don't know, the loan token is an incentive token in the Liquid Loans protocol, and all loan stakers get fees from the system. They get USDL from new people opening vaults, and they get Pulse from redemptions. So every time you mint yourself new USDL, you also generate a fee, and that fee goes to the loan stakers. So if you're holding Pulse, loan token, PulseX, just going in that cycle is pushing up the price and increasing your position, right? So you're buying more. You can also, with that USDL, you can go and buy more Hex. You can go and buy more loan. You can go and buy more Pulse token. All of that is not only increasing your position, it's not only increasing how much that you own, it's also pushing up the price. So this whole diagram that Jexxa came up with is so interesting, and I've wanted to break it down for a few weeks. I think he posted it the end of last year, and it just shows you how powerful this new system is going to be, this whole new era of DeFi. He calls it one DeFi because once this is all rolling and we're using it like this, we've won DeFi. We don't need anything else, any other protocols to come in, any other chains. It's a new era for DeFi. So by using PulseX, by using Hex, by using the Liquid Loans protocol and owning part of it. When I say owning part of it, I mean you having a position, you owning tokens of that network, of the network Pulse, or of the protocol. You own a bit of that, and every time that price increases due to maybe people buying more of it, price appreciation, or due to deflationary things happening like buys and burns and stuff like that, your value in that coin is going up, and you're holding a part of that. So in crypto, if you hold a part of a project, you can say that you own a bit of it, right? And by holding it, the price goes up over time. And with these positive price feedback loops, it's kind of never ending what you can do. There's so many iterations you can do. You could do the haunted strategy. You could buy more loan token. You could put it in the staking pool. You can go back to PulseX and buy more stuff with the fees that you're going to earn in the staking pool. And again, pushing up the price of all that stuff. So while you're doing this, while you're doing your USDL and you're buying more Hex, you're buying more Pulse, you're buying more loan, not only is that pushing up the price, but again, like I said, you're also increasing your position. You're owning more of the network than you did before. And as long as you're over collateralized safely, 110% is the minimum collateral ratio in liquid loans, but we'd always advise way over that, 200%, 300%, 500%, 1,000%, 1,000,000% if you want to, whatever makes you feel safe. But being highly over collateralized is going to allow you to sleep well at night. And it's also going to allow you to not worry if the market does take a downturn. If you're 1,000% collateralized with liquid loans, the market would have to dip by 89% or 90% before you are up for liquidation. Remember, liquidations aren't automatic as well. They're manual. So how often does the market dip by 90%? Well, not very often in a day or even a week or even in a month, right? It happens over a certain amount of time. So having that nice high collateral ratio is going to give you that buffer. And if you see the market turning, you can go and pay back some of your loan. You can add more collateral. So I really wanted to touch on how these feedback loops are just mind-blowing when you get into it. How just by using what you already own and using the system and moving basically energy around the system, you can increase the price, you can increase your position, and you don't have to leave PulseChain. You don't have to go bridge across or anything like that. You can just stay here and really take advantage of this one DeFi system. So let me jump into the chat and just see what everyone's saying. Hexicat, what's up, Hexicat? My bro helping out. Blowsy saying hello, hello, hello. Boom. Fire, absolutely. Punchiest in crypto. Red Squirrels in the chat, what's up, what's up? The Dutch Hexagon, sup guys? So Crypto Fin Freedom says how to buy it. How to buy what? I mean, how to buy any of these, you'll be able to go to Uniswap or to PulseX and buy any. If you've sacrificed for PulseChain, if you own Hex, if you sacrifice for PulseX, if you're going to sacrifice for liquid loans, then you'll have these when the chain goes live, and then you can participate straight away. But obviously, you know, you might have some of these, you might not have, you might have or one or two of these, or you might have all of these. If you have all of these, that's when you're winning in DeFi, because you're owning small parts of the network itself. If you hold Pulse token, every time someone transacts on the network, 25% of those fees are burned. What happens? The token becomes deflationary. When the token becomes deflationary, supply and demand, the price goes up. Every time you use PulseX to make a transaction, or even if you're swapping to other coins or whatever, what happens? That 25% buy and burn. You hold PulseX, the price goes up. What happens when you buy Hex and stake it over the long term? Well, if you look at the chart over time, up and to the right. So just by utilizing these four protocols, and especially liquid loans, the borrowing and lending protocol, and being able to mint yourself more stablecoin or USDL, and then going to use that and putting that in that price feedback loop, you're always going to be able to be increasing your position. Because in crypto, what do we want to do? Of course, we want to see price appreciation, but we want to increase our positions in good projects like Pulse, like liquid loans, like Hex and PulseX. You want to increase your position, because the bigger position you have as the price goes up, the more value you have. Barely Crafty says 21% of 0.29% trading fee could be used for PulseX buy and burns, not 25% or 0.29% trading fee. Did I say 25%? I think I was talking about Pulse there. So 25% of all fees on Pulse is going to be burnt. If I said PulseX, maybe I was mistaken. But yeah, on PulseX, on Pulse, you have the 25% of all fees being burned. On PulseX, you have 25% of every transaction. So 25% of every transaction on PulseChain, the fees are burned. On PulseX, yes, you have the 0.29%. And that's going to be that buy and burn function, that the entity that may buy and burn, but we're obviously going to find out. Hex Turbo says, woo, what is up, Hex Turbo? Hex 19, here to learn. Thank you, sir. So Hex Turbo says, yes, Red Squirrel strategy is the best. It is. There's so many plays, obviously, when PulseChain goes live, that it can be overwhelming. And, you know, there's 1,000,001 different things you could do with in crypto or investing in general. But just by owning these protocols alone, and with the functions of buy and burn, deflationary, just like the loan token itself is also a fixed supply token. So without these tokens inflating over time, supply and demand, basic macroeconomics, they're going to be going up until the right. Also, we know that crypto is volatile. There'll be ups and downs, of course. But just by utilizing these alone, without even using the positive feedback loops, you're going to be doing very well. But when you start using liquid loans, because liquid loans is not just a borrowing and lending protocol, you've got the loan token that you stake, and then you earn fees from the system. We know you can take that USDL when you mint yourself a loan, and you can go out and buy a house, groceries, whatever, or you can put it in a stability pool and start earning Pulse from those liquidated vaults. Not you, though, because you are going to be collateralized safely. But any vaults that are liquidated, the Pulse is distributed to the liquidity pool, and by becoming a liquidity provider, you're incentivized with that loan token. Then you can take that loan token, put that in the loan staking pool, and start earning Pulse and USDL through fees. So there's so many different plays and ways to do it. And just when I saw Jexxa break this down, the penny really dropped for me about not only how good that this new DeFi ecosystem is going to be, but the way that you can use it to buy more, increase your position. Every time you buy, you're going to push up the price of that asset and increase your position. And especially with the haunted strategy, where you can cycle it around. And if you don't know what the haunted strategy is, do check through the Liquid Loans videos. I've done a few videos with him. I've done one video with him, and there's a 3-minute version as well. But it's basically staying nice and high with your collateral ratio, buying putting Pulse into your vault, minting USDL, and every time the price of Pulse goes up, say 10%, you mint yourself more USDL, go back to PulseX or Uniswap or whatever, buy yourself more Pulse and put it back into your vault. Very clever and interesting way to do it. Hexycat says, no definitive date yet. Could start any moment going forward. Get your bags ready. So yeah, for everyone asking about the sacrifice phase, could be any moment now. So I would say be ready, have your stable coins ready. We don't know when exactly, but be prepared, be on your toes. You don't want to be sleeping and miss out on this one. So just be prepared. Of course, you can't you know, we don't have everything mapped out right now for the date, but it could be any day now. So no expectation from the work of others, obviously. And if you want to sacrifice for stable coins, for an algorithmic stable coin, because you believe in real DeFi and not centralized stable coins, which is really a mirror of the legacy finance system. You have the centralization of stable coins. They're fractionally reserved. They have admin keys. USDL is the complete opposite: decentralized, immutable, algorithmically backed. So if you believe in something like that, then maybe the sacrifice phase will be for you to make that political statement. Tyson Taft says, this is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it really is. And I want to give the credit to Jexxa. This is his content, and I just borrowed this slide to break it down for the Liquid Loans channel. If you want to see the full video, the link is below in the description below, along with his channel where you can subscribe. He does some great content on Liquid Loans and the PulseChain ecosystem, so do check him out. But the fact that, you know, you've got these price positive feedback loops in this system with these great products is just mind-blowing. And like I said, just by holding these alone over the long term, not financial advice, but over the long term, good projects go up and to the right. And this probably will do very well alone. But when you start utilizing this price positive feedback, you know, this could be mind-blowing to a lot of people. The evil Flowgen. Is Liquid Loans still planning a sacrifice? And if so, any idea of the dates? I just covered that. So maybe you got here late, or maybe you asked that question before. Is there a projection for before or after PulseChain launch? So let me just reiterate about the sacrifice date. The sacrifice date, we don't know yet, but it is around the corner. So it could be any day now. So what I'd say is just be ready with your stable coins. As we can see now, the market is in a bit of a bloodbath right now. So hopefully, if you were holding anything else, you got out and in stable coins already. Looks like we're in some sort of big dip or a bear market. But yeah, have your stable coins ready for the sacrifice phase. Like I said, to your second question, is there a projection for before or after PulseChain launch? Is there a projection of when the protocol goes live? The protocol is going to go live, obviously, after PulseChain, because we need PulseChain to exist for Liquid Loans to go live, because the whole protocol is about using your Pulse in a smart contract to lock up and acquire liquidity with your Pulse coin as collateral. So obviously, the Liquid Loans protocol will launch after PulseChain goes live, and it will probably be a month or so after. We want that volatility to calm down. We know at the beginning of blockchain launches or any protocol launch, that price goes up and down a lot. It's very speculative, and we don't want anyone getting wrecked or liquidated. So most likely around a month or so after. Again, we can't say that exactly. We need PulseChain to go live, which looks like it won't be out at the earliest until about March. So yes, we will go live obviously after that, but around a month or so, depending on how the market is looking. Yeah, thanks Hexycat for that. If you want more info about the sacrifice, do head over to thesacrifice.io. Start date not known, but be ready. Exactly. Barely Crafty says 4 more weeks. Yeah, 4 more weeks probably is looking like, you know, PulseChain. The joke about Hex was always 4 more weeks. PulseChain, we know, isn't going to go live at least until March, by the looks of it, because of the PulseX SAC finishes around February, and obviously you can't still be sacrificing for PulseX, because when PulseChain goes live, PulseX is going to exist as well. So what we're looking at is probably around March or April. And then after that, around a month or so, Liquid Loans will go live. And then we will see that hopefully we'll see people using the system like this, using their Pulse to lock up in smart contract, in the liquid loan smart contract, minting themselves USDL, taking that USDL and either buying a house, groceries, living expenses, or whatever, or using these price positive feedback loops. And like I said, even just taking that USDL and going straight to PulseX and buying more HEX, more loan, more PulseX token is already going to pump the price. But when you start to, put it back into your vault, like with the haunted strategy, buy more loan token, put it in the staking pool, you're creating a cycle of never-ending financial freedom, which obviously what we're all here for, right? We're all here for the tech and the mad gains. Retrostatic says, looking forward to liquid loans. Are there any links to all the different strategies? I'm not sure. I'd say jump into the Telegram group, TME/liquid loans, and ask away. They're going to have the links there to all the different strategies. But I know that a lot of different strategies are popping up. You've got Haunted, you've got Red Squirrel, you've got Hodpro, you've got Jexxa, you've got all these different strategies, and there's 1,000,001 ways to use the system. I'd say do what works for you. So everyone's at a different stage of their life. Some of us are younger, some of us are older, some of us are single, some of us have kids. And all the strategies will obviously cater to different people and to where they are in life. So have a look at those strategies, see what works for you, and always do your own research, right? Never ape into anything. Never, rush in and think you have to do this. Look at what works for you. And when you understand it fully, then you can start applying that knowledge. Jay Polar says, I will use liquid loans. So bullish on it. Yeah, I mean, why would you sell your Pulse or any crypto if you didn't have to, right? What do you think the people that sold Bitcoin at $1 or $30 or $1,000 or $10,000 are feeling like now? Or especially, how are they feeling when it hit $69,000? So if you could hold on to your crypto, have a non-taxable event and acquire liquidity, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you sell your crypto, lose it forever? Once you've sold it, it's gone, right? Once your fat finger has pressed the sell button, you've lost that crypto forever. And you have a taxable event. Depending on where you live, that could be between 10 and 36%. So kind of a no-brainer. When I first heard about it as well, very, very excited. The more I've learned about it, the more I've learned about the team. And then when I joined the team, mind-blowing. Hexicat says Telegram group for all the strategies in the pin messages. There you go. Go to the pin messages and all the strategies are there. Crypto Cardio Doc says loan fees quoted at 0.5%, so 0.5% to 5%. What factors determine where a loan will fit in this range? Most of the time, the fee to open a loan is going to be around 0.5%, so 0.5%. But that being said, depending on the health of the system, there'll be different incentives or de-incentives. So if the system is, if the TCR, total collateral ratio, is low, right? The total collateral ratio always aims to be 150% or over. But if it's falling low, this system is going to incentivize people to pay back their loan and disincentivize people to take loans, right? So if the system is lower on the collateral ratio scale, it's going to up that fee. So it makes it more as a de-incentive to open the loans, and will give people more incentive to pay back their loans with lower fees. Most of the time, the system is designed so it's not in recovery mode, which is under that 150% collateral ratio, and therefore most of the time the fee will be 0.5%. But that being said, if it is in a place where the collateral ratio isn't healthy, then it might ratchet up to 5% to try and discourage people from taking loans and encourage people redeeming and paying back into their vaults. Jay Polar says the health of the protocol. Exactly. Hexicat is just mirroring what I said. Most of the time it will be 0.5%. Health of the system will determine the fees are higher. So yeah, most of the time 0.5% fee and 0% interest. Watch other videos on the Liquid Loans channel, how that's possible. But most of the time you will have a tiny fee to open a loan and no interest, and you'll never have to pay back your loan as long as you're over collateralized. So Mohammed says hashtag never selling, hashtag liquid loans. That's it. I mean, you don't have to. Like I said before, why would you sell your crypto if you don't have to sell it? If there was a way to acquire liquidity, tax-free, not financial advice. Check with your jurisdictions, but in most jurisdictions in the world, loans are tax-free. Then you could use that protocol to lock up your collateral, your crypto, in this case Pulse, acquire liquidity, and still hold on to your asset, your Pulse, as the price goes up. Because again, over time, prices go up and to the right of good projects. Obviously, there's dips, so safely collateralize. Make sure you're well over 150%. If you're over 150%, then even if the system goes into recovery mode, you can't be liquidated or redeemed against. If the system does go into recovery mode, meaning the total collateral ratio dips under 150%, then you could be up for liquidation. But how do you avoid that? Safely collateralize 2, 3, 4, 500%, or even better, 1,000%. Like I said, at 1,000%, you can withstand up to an 89%, 90% dip in the market. How often do those 90% dips happen overnight? Hardly ever, especially on a layer 1 protocol. Hexycat says the parent protocol has been in recovery mode one time only ever, I believe, and when Liquidity was new. So yeah, PulseChain is, Liquid Loans is obviously sitting on PulseChain, and Liquid Loans is a fork of Liquidity, the protocol on Ethereum, running flawlessly. The total collateral ratio over there is around 250%, maybe even more. I think at the time of this video, there's about 900 million in a minted stablecoin in debt and about 2.5 billion in collateral. So the system's working perfectly. It's been forked onto other chains. There's no reason why it won't work perfectly on PulseChain. And as of now, on the 24th of January, we are getting close to the sacrifice phase. So do have your stable coins ready. So guys, I thought I'd just jump on, do a quick, 30-minute live stream, talk about Jexxa's price positive feedback loops. Do go and check out his channel. It's below in the description, and check out this video where he really breaks it down. Maybe I'm not doing it as much justice as him, as it is his own, theory, and it is his own content. But I really thought this was such a good bit of content. I wanted to jump on and reiterate it to you guys. So as I've done, well, if you guys, we're making pretty much daily content on the Liquid Loans channel at the moment. If you haven't subscribed yet, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos and content. Share this video with someone who you think it may benefit. You can also drop a comment below. Hit a like. It does help us out for the algo. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.